Hello guys, today I'm going to start a new video series for beginners guide to web API using ASP.NET Core. So today we are going to learn about web APIs, how we can make a web API using ASP.NET Core. So we are learning those things. So here we're talking about basics of web API and what are HTTP requests and what methods are using here. So those are the things I'm going to cover in this video. This is a new video series for beginners for the web API. So I think you have a better knowledge in C#. So that knowledge will enough for this web API. So let's dig into our business. So let's check some usages. So first one is uh, let's say first one is mobile applications. Mobile application. So mobile applications we are taking like most of the mobile application we are using the front end. So from the front end, think about like banking app. So I need to uh, send some money to someone. Or I need to check the balance. Also, I need to pay for some electricity bills likewise. So for that one, we are sending the request from the front end. We are sending the request. So after sending the request for the web API, we are getting the responses. So those things happen inside the backend. So likewise, a lot of APIs are using in the mobile applications. So this is one usage for that one. So another one we can use desktop applications. So in the desktop applications also same as mobile applications. So think about UI with the uh, account page or something. So you're asking, requesting some data or some graphs or something like that from the API. So according to that, they are giving the response. Likewise, in the desktop applications also, we are using web APIs. Other one is games. Kind of interesting. Uh, for the games, like think about like uh, we are playing some Dota 2, kind of a good game, and like PUBG code likewise. So for those things also, when we are earned some trophies or medals, those also we are taking from the APIs. We are accessing the API for that one. So games also very useful. Web API is very useful for games asset. So other thing is web applications. Web applications. So the web applications, like what are the things we are using for web applications? That means it's for the front end. That means we can use Angular, React.js, then Vue.js or Blazor. From those things, we are accessing the web API and we are retrieving data for the clients or employees likewise. So another usage is web APIs. So web APIs also using to access the web APIs. We'll come into those topics in later. So these are the usages of web API, mobile applications for the desktop applications, games, web applications, and web APIs also. So for example, we can get the current stock value of any organization right now in your browser or mobile phone. So that's what we are calling, like we are calling a web API, and we can access to any browser or any phone which having the internet connection. Okay. The importance of this web API is web API can be built in any technology. Like for example, we can build in uh, Java. We can build in Python. We can build in ASP.NET. Likewise, it can also consumed by any technology. That means the web application I told you, we are using uh, some front-end languages like Angular, Blazor, like that. So those are the front-end ones. So if someone is create a web app using Java, it doesn't matter. He can use the Angular, Blazor, Vue.js. Likewise, we can access, like we can consume from any technology. That's a good thing in web APIs. These kind of things, it's very helpful, and this make the web APIs a perfect choice for the apps built on different technologies. It will be very helpful to communicate with each other. Okay, this is the important part of this small description. What is the purpose of a web API? If someone is asked in the interview or something somewhere, so work of a web API is transfer data over the internet. That's the smallest, like brief description about a web API. So I'll I already typed the examples for web APIs. So in the Microsoft, we can find Microsoft Graphs. So you can go to the browser and check the Microsoft Graphs, and there we are using some web APIs. The GitHubs, we are using web APIs for what are the commits, what are the users. Likewise, the Azure DevOps also we are using a lot of APIs in the weather services. Likewise, those are the a few examples what we are using web APIs for. So let's move into the uh, what are these HTTP requests and responses next. So let's learn what is this uh, HTTP. What is the HTTP? Telling like overview of HTTP. That's mean I think some of you guys know what is HTTP. We are calling like hypertext transfer protocol when we expand the HTTP. So here, what we are using, uh, this is the access. Like this is the way we are using these things. So this is the protocol what we are using to access the web page or websites. Commonly and widely, we are using this protocol, HTTP request and response, those kind of protocols we are using most of the time, commonly in our day-to-day life coding environment. Okay, I'll do a small demonstration for this one, then uh, you can have a better understanding about this one. So I'm creating, take this, okay, and I did to user. Okay, I will say this is the user. This is you. Okay, so here, okay, so think about like this. So here you are like requesting a web URL. Think about www.facebook.com. So you are requesting from your browser that request. So we are telling this one is a request. Okay, request. You are sending a request to the server. So this one is client. Client. This one is the server. Okay. So when you request some uh, website or something like that, so the server is process it. or it's going through a API or somewhere else, and he processes and send back the response. So for that one, we are telling this is the response. This is the basic idea of what is HTTP request and response. Think about like you need to search for butterflies. So you are searching butterflies. So you are searching means you are requesting. This request is going to the server and they process. They are checking what are the butterflies, different types of butterflies. Likewise for the countries, for the world, exist ones, extinct one. Likewise, and they are giving the response. These are the butterflies nowadays they are living, and these are the butterflies only live in Sri Lanka, and this is for the Asia. Likewise, they are giving the response. So this is the basic way of sending a request and process, and we are getting the response. Hope you understand the scenario in here. So we'll move further, then you will understand more about these things. So now we are going to learn about what are these HTTP, HTTP requests and responses. HTTP requests and responses. So first one is this one. HTTP verbs we are telling. Okay, first one is get. Just put into your knowledge. I'll explain these things in later videos. These are the most important things in the web API. Post, put, and delete. These are the most needed HTTP word. So they have different types of different types of uh, helpers to the web APIs. So I'll explain these things in later. And there are some another words you need to know. So these are file formats. We are telling these are JSON, JSON, and we are telling XML. These files formats also we are using in the web API for the when we are using the bodies, we are sending some in the post request when we are sending the parameters. Likewise, for those things we are using these JSON files or XML file. I'll explain to you these things in very simple way in upcoming videos. So let's learn some basic of this what is web API likewise things in this video. Okay. So as you think like what are the usage of these JSON files formats and XML file format, these are the files used to these file formats are used by the web APIs to transmit data over the internet. That means for transmitting the data, we need some separate file formats. These are the file format they are using for web APIs. So hope you understand these basic things. So we'll move further. So as I told you earlier, so I'm going to I'll keep this on here. I'm going to talk about HTTP request now. HTTP request. So for that one, I'm going to my CSI PR page. This is the learning platform we are using. This is a good way to do some certificates. If you want to go, you can check. You contact the CSI member, customer support. You can work on there. This is related to finance, actually, most of the things. So you better go and check. So I'm going to show you with this web page what are the HTTP request and responses. So then you will understand very simply what are these things. So no need to explain in the hard coded way. So I'll go to this inspect here. So here we need to check for the network tabs. Then you can check what are these things. We'll check whether you can find something in here. Yeah, perfect. So here I'm going to show you, this is the request URL. As you can see, this is the request URL. So this is the request method. As we learned earlier, this is the get method. So that's why this HTTP word get they are using, and request method is get. This is the status code. In 200 means it's okay, success, remote address, privacy policy, those things. These three are like kind of important because we are using the request URL. This is where we are using, like here we can see after the CSI web.api, we are going to the API and e-learning, and we are checking whether the asking uh, for the e-learning type ID 1 and subjects, and they are checking some conditions here. Likewise, that's the URL of this one. So it's a get URL. So we are getting some PR modules from here. Okay, now we are checking response. It's the HTTP response. HTTP response. Okay, and here we are using HTTP response. So we'll check what are the responses in here. So here's the HTTP response. We can check, we'll go down. Here is the content type. This is the application JSON, as I told you earlier. This is the way we are sending data through the through internet in the web API, like transmitting, and several things are resource properties. Likewise, things are there, frequent headers, those things also there. We'll go inside of something. Micro module. We'll go there. We'll go to PR login in here. As previous, it's request are here. So here we can have content type also. We'll check. So we'll go to the response. This is the type talking about the JSON application JSON pattern. This is like we are coding request and responses. Those are kind of things we are sending to a body or something like that. So we are using this format types for these things. So these are sending via the key value pairs. So this is the key. What it mean? Is it list? The value is false. This is the key and the value. Likewise, it's showing for these things. So I'll cut this on. Okay, perfect. And another important thing I forgot to tell you, it's like this authorization in the request header. Here there are some bearer tokens. We'll learn these things in the future videos. Content type also we can take. JSON type, likewise. For the bearer token, we are using Swagger for these things. Sorry. So this is gonna be very awesome tutorial for the beginners who are working in the web API. So hope you understand these things very simple way. So that's the foundation for those things. In the future, you become a software engineer, then these things should be very simple. Then only you can focus on other hard coding parts. So let's go move further on this one. So in here, I told you there's a 200 OK. That's mean here status code. These are the status. Okay, so these are we are calling CRUD conventions, Web API CRUD convention. Let's see what are these things. These things we are telling like what are the method types we should send in the request header. If we are sending a using a request, what are the method types? So I told this one is the HTTP word. These are method types: get method, post method, put method, delete method. So here CRUD operation we are checking whether this when we send this get method, what's the status of this one? 200. Okay, likewise I took a screenshot of this one. Create, the action is create, so we are using post method. The success method is 201. If it's failure, it's showing 400. So here read, we only allow to read in here, so this method is get. See here it's showing as get method. So success means 200. 200. Okay, that means we can read this document, like the PR module we can read this. So that's how these APIs are working. Likewise, same for the update, we can use put verb or patch, same as 204 and 404 for not found. Delete also we can use delete. So in the upcoming videos we are using these methods to gain more experience in web APIs. So keep in touch. So hope you understand the basic of the introduction of this web API. Until we meet again, happy coding everyone.